Hello, welcome back. This is part two of today's broadcast from LEN Live Chat, and I'm going to jump straight in with the saga of Priyanka and my pronunciation. Can't resist. I'm kind of keeping out of the conversation because I don't want it to stop. So, we left it with Priyanka being asked by Zeb, "Are you getting used to Lynn's accent in the recording?" And Priyanka replied, "No, not yet." And Zeb asked, "What English accent are you used to?" So Priyanka replied, "I'm from India. That's why I have problem in hearing that pronunciation." So Priyanka, I, capital I, am from India, capital I. Okay, I'll give you a link to the capitalization rules of English. So, first person, I, always a capital letter. Proper nouns like India, countries, always a capital letter. And then you say that's, which is that is, yeah? So THAT apostrophe S. That's why I, capital I, have a problem in understanding her pronunciation. This is definitely Learn English Network gold, you know. Anyhow, as Eb quite rightly said, accents makes it difficult to understand each other sometimes, but I love them. Okay, accents plural make it difficult, yeah, or an accent makes it difficult. Okay, so accents make it difficult to understand each other sometimes, but I love them. Me too, Zeb. Myself, I find it tough to understand the English accent from India, but once I get used to the voice of the person I'm talking with, it gets better. Priyanka then said, "Your English is perfect, and I saw it has no any mistake of grammar. I want as it that yours." So, your capital Y, Priyanka, your English, well done, capital E, lovely, is perfect. Then comma, and I've noticed there are no grammar mistakes. I want mine to be like yours. Okay? And then you carried on. If I conversate with you, may be possible my English improve. Am right or wrong? Okay, I think what you wanted to say was, if I talk with you, might it be possible that my English, capital E N G L I S H, will improve? And that's a question, so question mark at the end. And then you could put, am I right or wrong? Capital A and I, capital I, right or wrong, question mark, because you're questioning your question, I suppose. Zeb then said, "My English contains mistakes, Priyanka, but usually I can get my message through. This is the most important for me." Okay, you can either say this is most important for me, Zeb, or this is the most important thing for me. Okay, if you want to improve your speaking skills, maybe you could consider joining one of the voice sessions of the LEN network. Myself, I take part in the Kitely Thursday session. Yeah, the best way to improve your spoken English is by speaking. The best way to improve your written English is by writing, but both times you kind of need some feedback too. Okay, either from your peers or from some teachery type person like me. So Priyanka, you'd be more than welcome to join any of our sessions, okay? And you can listen to my voice even more. I think I must be driving you nuts by now. Okay, so let's leave Priyanka and Zeb to their discussion on my terrible pronunciation. And Priyanka then also asked about 3 days ago, when I can discussion with improve my English. Okay. So I think what you wanted to say here, Priyanka, and again, it's a bit like Zeb, you're writing and we are understanding you. It's not perfect, no, but you're actually getting your message across. So this is one of the most important things about learning any language, to communicate, and you are communicating, so well done you. To make it a bit better, you could say when, with a capital W, can I, capital I, discuss how to improve my English. And again, English, you did do it correctly before, but English with a capital E and a question mark. Always end your sentences with the appropriate punctuation. And Zeb said, "Anytime, Priyanka, it's not a classroom here. When you feel like it, just do what I'm doing right now. Reply to someone else's messages. Okay, reply to someone else's messages, ELSE apostrophe S. They may reply to you and you'll get a conversation going on in English. Yay! Priyanka then said, when I conversate with you. I think what you meant to say there, Priyanka, was when can I talk with you? And Zeb said, I'm usually around early morning in Western Europe, but I also read messages during the day and reply when I can spare some time. It doesn't have to be live, does it? Absolutely. Absolutely it doesn't. Okay, so brilliant. And I replied, Hi Priyanka, what do you do to improve your English at the moment? Priyanka then said, this is improvement of my English that when I speak English, then you correct my sentence and tell me what is wrong in my sentence and what should be. Okay, this is improvement of my English. Okay, so I would say I'd like it if when I, capital I, speak English, capital E, N-G-L-I-S-H, you correct my sentence and tell me what is wrong in my sentence and what it should be. Okay? And I replied, as Zeb said, Priyanka, if you listen to the Tuesday recordings, you will hear the corrections I make. You can read the text as you listen and play the recording as often as you need. I also do word-for-word text corrections in the lessons, which is a bit more teachery, and I gave you a link to the lessons website. Because Zeb said, Lynn, your teacher, does it every Tuesday, Priyanka. She reads out loud our messages and corrects them. Okay, she reads our messages out loud and corrects them. So if you think she does that and she does this. So she reads it out loud and corrects it. If you listen to last week's recording, again, if you listen to last week's recording, you'll get a better idea of how it can help you to improve your English. Or not. Honey popped along. We'll come to that in a moment, Honey, and said, can you please tell me, is this sentence is correct or not? I flummoxed the person who asks me the directions of a mal. Okay, so I think you meant hi, which would be H, capital H, hi, comma. Can you please tell me, YOU, if this sentence is correct or not, question mark. So those should be all on one line. And then in capital I, because it's I, flummoxed the person who asks. Okay, I'm flummoxed when anyone asks me the directions to the mall. Okay. Or do you mean when they're in the mall and they want to go round the mall? In British English we say shopping centre, but mall's okay. We kind of know American English too. And I wrote to you, listen to tomorrow's live chat recording, part 2, honey. And Zeb came in and said, hi, I definitely can't call you honey. And then she said, I think that the verb ask should be in the past and your sentence should start with a capital letter. By the way, I wonder what you said to flummox that person who asked you the direction to the mall. Aha. Honey then said, hi, how do you do? Why can't you call me as Honey? Okay then, my name is Jyoti. You can call me as Jyoti. So what you'd say there, Honey, is, hi, how do you do? Which is fine. It's a very formal way of saying hello. So what you wouldn't say hi, how do you do? You just say how do you do with a capital H. You only say it once when you first meet somebody. And then you would say, why can't you call me Honey? And then with a capital H because you're using that as your name. And then okay then with a capital O, comma, my name is Jyoti. And with a capital J because that's your real name. You can call me Jyoti with a capital J and full stop. Hi Jyoti, said Zeb. Honey is one of those sweet words that people use to call their girlfriend, boyfriend or other loved ones. So, hi, honey is one of those sweet words that people use for their girlfriend, boyfriend or other loved ones. I can't call you honey then, can I? Honey, do 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 do, oh sugar sugar. I'll have YouTube after me. Copyright. But yeah, honey is kind of a term, what we call a term of endearment. Okay, honey? So when I say it, it does sound funny. Funny honey. I know you didn't mean it like that, but it doesn't matter. We'll call you whatever you want us to call you. I'll probably stick with honey because it comes up on your profile. Then Honey asked, "Hi, what is the difference between the words like one, this and these, two, there and there?" There and there are pronounced differently. I often confused to these words while I am using. Okay, hi with a capital H. And then you can put a full stop. Then what starts with a capital W because it's a new sentence, it's a question. What's the difference between words like, and then one, this and these, two, there and there? Full stop. Question mark because it's a question. And then I often get confused with these words when I'm using them. Yeah, it's because you need to get a feel for them. Okay, so capital I, always. I replied, you and many others, honey. This is singular. This website is useful. These is plural. These websites from the network are useful. For there, and there are three lots of them. Look here. And I gave you a link to. It is a common mistake. I'll probably do one for this and these as well. I used to have a wonderful page on this and these, which had been created by somebody who gave me permission to use it, and then he deleted it from the internet. So unfortunately, I've never got round to recreating something that would be helpful. I'll see what I can do when I've got the time. Then I wrote the most important thing. Knowing about all this is one thing, but getting a feel for these expressions is what really matters. Okay, you only get that through using them and getting feedback. Aladdin popped in and said good morning. Hey, where's your full stop, Aladdin? And I replied, I replied to this, but there's no reply here. Annoying. I did actually reply, Aladdin, but for some reason no reply turned up. And Zeb said, I can see your reply. You said previously, morning Aladdin, how are you today? Well, that's really weird, Zeb, because I can't see my original reply. I do not understand it. But I'll look in. Sometimes people are silly and they mark them as spam or something, and then they disappear for me. But I don't understand it, but I'm not technically minded for this depth of technology. Technology is here to confuse me, I think. Anyhow, we're going to stop after Tot's discussion, okay? And Tot replying, but not replying, started a new conversation, and I kind of know already what it was about. It was about, look out, pink elephants are about. When we started talking about drinking too much. And Todd said, right, see me fly just like Rainbow Dumbo. So if anybody has come into this conversation and seen that, I think they'll just leave live chat. I think you just killed live chat, Todd. So, right with a capital R. Watch me fly, not see me fly, watch me fly, because you'll be doing something and we'll be going, wow, look at Tot flying. So, and it would be W, capital W. Watch me fly just like Dumbo, just like Rainbow Dumbo. And Zeb replied, not flying, but as a rainbow Dumbo on the elephant pink parade. And Zeb, you put the link to the pink parade. Ah. Tot said, hi Zeb, just have time to enjoy your sharing elephant pink parade. Okay. Hi Zeb, capital X, capital H. I just had time to enjoy your elephant pink parade share. It's cool, capital I. And Tot went on, now I understand that why you said when we drink too much we start to see pink elephants. Ha ha! Okay, so have you got that one, Tot? Can you see it? You'd say, now I, capital I, understand why you said, comma, when we drink too much we start to see pink elephants. Ha ha! And Zeb said, actually, as you were the first one to talk about Dumbo, I thought that you already knew the elephant pink parade. And Tot said, when I searched pink elephant as you talk, it also showed up the name of Dumbo. Of course, I knew Dumbo is a cartoon of Disneyland, but I don't exactly know about the elephant pink parade. So, you got it, Tot? So when you write capital W, when I, capital I, searched for pink elephant, as you said, comma, it also showed up the name of Dumbo. Of course, I, capital I, knew Dumbo was a cartoon from Disney, not Disneyland, Disney, comma, and then small b, but I didn't know about the elephant pink parade. Zeb then said, we have a cluey one around. Ooh, okay, I don't know what a cluey one is. You've just flummoxed me. We have a cluey one around. Okay. May I ask you what are famous animations in your country? And Tot said, animations that I have watched are Toy Story 1, 2 and 3, Monster Inc., Akira and Ding Dong, Doraemon, etc. I think they're famous. Almost forgot Kung Fu Panda. Almost. Thank gods, said Zeb. I like gods with an S. Kung Fu Panda is a not to forget. Absolutely. It's unforgettable. It's a must-see, as we call it in the UK. It's a bit funny that there are no Asian animations in your list except for Doraemon, which is Japanese. Todd then said, yep, Doraemon is full of childhood memory for me. So you'd say it's full of childhood memories for me, because in the childhood you accumulate memories. We used to call him Ding Dong when we are child, but now they changed the name to Doraemon. Okay, so we used to call him Ding Dong when we were children, because you are no longer children, when we were children, and then comma, but they have changed the name to Doraemon. Now, Pleasant Goat and Big Wolf is one of the famous animations for the children. Okay, so you'd say nowadays, Pleasant Goat and Big Wolf is one of the famous animations for children. And I replied, a goat and a wolf? That doesn't sound like a happy ending to me. Me either, said Tot, and I haven't watched the animation, but I know many kids like the animation. Okay, so you'd say here me neither, because I say it doesn't sound like a happy ending to me, and you're agreeing with the negative, you say me neither. And then you'd write full stop. Capital I, haven't watched the animation, comma, but I know, capital I, many kids like it. Okay, if you say the animation all the time, it gets a bit repetitive. So you've already mentioned the animation. I haven't watched the animation, but I know many kids like it. Okay, and it makes your conversational English sound more natural. And to make it sound even more natural, you could say me neither, and I haven't watched it, but I know many kids like it. And Zeb, who loves her cartoons, also said, I like to travel countries through their children animations too. So I think, Zeb, you meant, I like to travel around countries through their children animations too. Or maybe, I like to get to know about countries through their children animations too. Big Wolf seems to be on YouTube with English subtitles. Yay! Thanks, Tot. And Tot said, yeah, enjoy. With a capital Y. Yeah. Oh, yes, enjoy. I just hope, said Zeb, that the English subtitles are good. Fingers crossed. That's all you can do, isn't it, Zeb? And Tot said BTW, which is, by the way, Gone is Gone, also a funny animation talking about the adventure of a dinosaur named Gon. Okay, so you could say here Gon is also a funny animation that follows the adventures of a dinosaur called Gon. And then he says, but it's a Japanese animation too. Yes, the Japanese, they love their anime, don't they? Eh? They love their animations. It's a huge industry out there. Okay, and that's it for this week. So I've actually fulfilled my promise to get the second part out. Hope it's useful to you, and hope that it's not giving you a headache, Priyanka. So maybe we will get you into one of our sessions. As I say, tune your ears into different accents and different ways of pronouncing things, okay? And read along, okay? So if you found this on the web somewhere and you're wondering what it's all about, you'll find the texts on the live chat page, and I'm trying to mark where each recording begins and ends, okay? So once you find a week, look for the date for the week that was last recorded. Okay, so I'm trying to make it clear this is the beginning of the new live chat and this is the end of the new live chat, so that you can actually find these things. Older parts of conversations don't get included usually, so you'll only find up to a certain point. If the conversation carries on, I don't keep going backwards and forwards, so you find the next one and you'll be able to read along and listen. And it really will help your listening skills, your reading skills, and your writing skills all in one, especially if you take part, okay? And if you get stuck, if you don't understand something I've tried to explain, ask. Ask on the forum, okay? Or ask in Discuss. The other thing is, for Priyanka, there are other listening sessions that are read more slowly, because it might be the speed at which I speak that's throwing you. They're read out by Amatsu, and there's a sort of normal speed and a slow version. You'll find those on the English magazine under the news section, so news roundup section. And she also does occasional recordings on the lessons as well, so you might find those useful too. And as Zeb said, get out and about on the internet and find podcasts that have the text included. They're also very useful. Okay, that's it for this week. Thank you for listening. Look forward to seeing what crops up on live chat next week. Bye.